Hello, everyone. My name is Denis, founder of Vera. And before I begin, so that I kind of understand who's here and why you're here, how many of you guys are here is because you're interested in NFTs and want to do more in NFTs? Yeah? How many of you guys here actually own NFT? Like at least one? All right, some of you got it. How many of you guys are here having no NFTs, but you've been in crypto? Some of you. How many of you guys are here, not in crypto, not in NFT, just want to check out what's going on? All right, I guess everyone here is pretty much in crypto already, all right? And how many of you guys are here, regardless what question I'm going to ask, wouldn't raise your hand anyway? Some of you, right? All right, well, what I'm going to do is I brought some gifts here for you guys. Hopefully that'll get you guys a little bit more excited. I'm pop quiz. How many of you guys here, first person tell me who created Bitcoin? Raise your hand. All right, there you go. Give this, sorry, this is showing around applause. You get a little gift, right? It's a little tote bag. All right, guys, so let's get started here. There you go. So today I basically want to talk about future trends in NFT, right? So for those of you that are in NFTs already and are planning to maybe do more of NFTs, like where's this whole market heading towards, is NFTs all about just art, about buying and selling NFTs or whatnot? What are these trends? What does it mean for you as an investor, as a business owner, et cetera, right? So let's take a quick look at the history of NFTs. NFTs actually started quite a while ago, but most of you guys, and even myself, had to do some digging to really understand. The screen here is a little small, so I guess just got to take my word for it. Actually, back near the early, 2012, there was a project called Colored Coins. Somebody were trying to experiment with different types of Bitcoins, add a color to it, and really make it more non-fungible, right? So basically, before 2017, NFTs were being experimented with, but there was no such standard on the Ethereum blockchain. It wasn't until 2017 where you actually had something called CryptoPunks. How many of you guys here know what CryptoPunks are? How many of you guys actually own a CryptoPunk? Okay, maybe you don't want to. How many of you guys probably don't want to tell anybody because you're afraid of security risk, right? It's too expensive. All right, so CryptoPunks came out in 2017, and really the hype started to grow. In September of 2017, that was actually the really big inflection point when the ERC 721 standard, which was a programmable standard for what defines NFTs even till today, was born. And afterward, you just had this explosion of interest in NFTs from games like CryptoPets, or CryptoKitties rather, which shut down the Ethereum blockchain for being too congested. OpenSea, Nifty Gateway, a lot of marketplaces, Super Rare, all those just Axie Infinities, all those games just really took off over the past couple years, right? So the question remains, what's next on this radar? Well, some people say, well, there's metaverses, right? With the whole Facebook Mark Zuckerberg thing about Meta. Some people say, well, there is physical stuff going on in NFTs, right? Because right now NFTs is mainly digital. Well, in my opinion, personally, there's actually a very big missing catalyst on what makes NFT have a lot of adoption, and that is something I called the financialization of NFTs. Because right now, with NFTs, what's really happening is you buy an NFT, you can show it off, it's like a shiny Ferrari if you own a CryptoPunk, but you can't really drive it, right? It's just there, you can show it off, you can sell it, that's about it. But we believe if it's truly an asset you own, you value, you treasure, you should be able to do things with it financially, just like anything else you own, a home, a car, etc., an asset. You can rent it, you can lend it, you can loan from it. So that's the area I'm going to talk a little bit about and what Vera is doing in this industry with regards to that. But shifting gears real quick, how many of you guys heard of, for example, I mentioned earlier, Facebook is now rebranding to Meta. In the news, maybe some of you have heard about Steam and all these games. They're banning crypto. They're banning NFTs. How many of you guys heard of that in the news, right? Or China saying, I want to ban Bitcoin mining, something like that. So there's a lot of FUD, right? Or negative things. And makes people question, will this industry be sustainable? But I want to bring up that in 2017, if you guys actually took a look at the news, how many of you guys also remember the head honcho of JP Morgan, a big bank, that basically said Bitcoin's a scam It's not going to work. In fact, cryptocurrency is a scam. It's going to collapse. Right? That's 2017, right? And back then, you got to understand, China was also banning Bitcoin and banning cryptocurrencies and whatnot. And a couple weeks, 1 month ago, if you guys actually read the news, let's see what happened within this short couple years of time. One of the heads of Bank of America basically came out and says, oh my God, Bitcoin is actually, if you thought it was disruptive, we're actually thinking DeFi, or decentralized finance, is even more disruptive than Bitcoin. And that's actually the sentiment amongst a lot of banks right now, right? I mean, how many of you want to park your cash in a bank and earn 0.01% yield when inflation is, I don't know, hyperinflation right now? Gas in California is $7 a gallon, you know, milk and food's all going up. Well, that's the situation, right? And DeFi seems to be the solution right now. And a lot of these banks are trying to figure out what exactly to do, how to regulate it, how do I get a piece of it, right? Venmo, PayPal, all these guys getting into it, Coinbase getting into it. So when people say NFTs, that's what happened in crypto, the fungible world. Well, right now, NFTs are pretty new. Any guesses of what the future will be like, right? Will it be just this fad to go away or not? Well, in my books, I personally think NFT is going to be a next $1 trillion industry. And it's going to be $1 trillion not because of art, not because of these speculative practices where people just buy and sell NFTs. It's going to be $1 trillion if you understand what it actually can have the potential to disrupt, right? Crypto allowed strangers to send money without trusting a bank. NFTs and the technology allows people to send not money, but assets without having to rely on middleman, a title company, an escrow company, all those things. And that is the beauty of this industry. So let me show a quick 2-minute video that goes over quickly what we're building and what we're trying to contribute in this area.
What do people want from NFTs? 1, affordability for your favorite NFTs. 2, to generate passive income from your NFTs. Vera makes this possible. For the first time in history, people can have true one-of-a-kind digital ownership of the things they create, powered by NFT technology. NFTs connect financial markets to the digital world, making economies more innovative, efficient, and democratized. Technologists agree that NFTs will fuel the next $1 trillion industry after the advent of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But there's a problem. NFTs don't have the essential framework used by other financial instruments. Right now, if you own an NFT, the only thing you can do is sell it. But there's so much more potential. You should be able to rent or lend your NFT to other people, make money from it, or even use it as collateral for a loan. There also needs to be buyer and seller protection, so your assets cannot be stolen or lost. Enter Vera. Vera is built to work with NFTs minted on any blockchain and is blazing fast and has low fees. What else? Vera enables developers to rapidly deploy financial apps for any NFT. Developers save money with Vera, which solves technical complexities, manages security risks, and lowers development overhead, meaning devs don't need to build their own financial apps. Finally, Vera is censorship resistant and works with NFTs minted on any blockchain. And by any, we mean any. That means our network makes every day a payday for anyone, anywhere. So say goodbye to NFTs that don't make you money and collect dust in your wallets. And say hello to Vera. Vera enables a new generation of apps that make NFTs work for you.
All right. So that's what we're working on. But just to educate all of you here more of where we fit into this financial NFT landscape, there's actually 4 areas that a lot of really smart people are working on to make this infrastructure where the future we talked about is actually possible. The 4 areas is, one is the position tokenization, so using NFT to represent a financial or legal position in applications. Second is pricing. How do you price in NFTs? Third is investing. And the last one is lending and liquidity. So some of the key players in position tokenizations like Uniswap, Curve Finance, right? How many of you guys here know what Uniswap is? Yes? Okay, most of you, great. So Uniswap is a decentralized exchange. If you're gonna put your tokens in a liquidity pool. Now they're using an NFT to represent your position in that pool, right? Curve finance allows different asset class to be swapped, and then NFT could represent that asset class. You now have a lot of risk of hacking, for example. DeFi smart contracts can be hacked, you lose a lot of money, but there's insurance that can protect that. And now NFTs can also be used to represent your insurance policy, for example, right? Saving time for KYC and potential other things if you're going to use that insurance policy to cover different DeFi platforms. You have folks like Yearn Finance and Nexus Mutual doing things like that. In the pricing field, you have players like Nifty and others that are creating indexes, for example, on what are trying to figure out what the floor price is for various NFTs, right? You have Yam Finance and Uma working on CryptoPunks, trying to create an average price index so you can really track, hey, the average price of CryptoPunks, what it is, and hopefully that can help create a more clear and transparent economy in that CryptoPunk ecosystem. You have appraisal business, players like Upshot trying to appraise NFTs. In investing, you got people creating indexes for NFTs. You have fractionalization. How many of you guys heard of fractionalizations? How many of you here can name me a DAO or a group that actually fractionalizes an NFT? Just the name of any DAO that has done it. Who? DDAO. All right, I like that. Here, you get a little prize. So I think I'm gonna hit someone here, so you can pick it up later, right here. All right, there you go. So fractionalization, you take an NFT, fractionalize it, different people own it, it's collective ownership, you know, there are people doing it. Pleaser DAO, for example, did it with the Doge, you know, that dog. Soon there probably will be Shiba DAO trying to compete with Pleaser DAO, who knows, or Doge DAO, all these things coming up, right? So, but what the area Vera and my team is super passionate with is more lending and liquidity. And there's a lot of words thrown around. I want to be very clear, right? People talk about loans, they talk about lending, and all, these words are all thrown out. It's very confusing, right? So one of the areas is called peer-to-peer loans, right? Peer-to-peer is like eBay or Craigslist. I list something, I have to wait for someone to buy it. Two people, right, connecting. Airbnb has peer-to-peer rentals, right? So loans is basically like, okay, I have an NFT, I think it's worth so much, can I take a line of credit? Can I take a loan from it, right? Just like a HELOC. If you own a house, I want to take a line of credit for my house, right? It's like ETHLend, right? Where, oh, I have Ether, I want to be able to borrow some money for someone using ETH as collateral. You got NFTFi and PondFi, certain projects doing things in that sense. On the other hand, you have something called peer-to-contract, like Aave, right? And Aave, if you guys don't know, is like a lending platform where you can generate yield on cryptos you own, and instead of collecting dust in your wallets. So you have folks like Bunchy Protocol, Taker Protocol, and how this is different is peer-to-peer requires two sides for a deal to happen, right? Like buyer, seller on both sides. Peer-to-contract allows you to directly just do business with the smart contract, which acts as a decentralized bank. So it's definitely a lot more efficient. You don't have to wait for matchmaking in a marketplace. At any time, through API calls, programmatically, in any situation you can think of, you can directly, let's say, borrow money from a pool of funds in a smart contract, right? And there are folks doing that. We'll try and do it with NFTs. What we're doing that is very unique in this industry is we're not dealing with loans, because we believe the biggest challenge right now is knowing what the price is of NFT. The market's just not that big, it's not that fluid, we don't have enough price points. There is NFTs right now ripe for price manipulation. You can mint 10 NFTs and buy 9 of them from your whale friends, or if you're a whale, buy it with 9 different wallets and manipulate the price. What we think is truly needed right now to help with some of these things in the progression of NFTs is peer-to-contract abilities for rentals and mortgages. So what rentals mean is simply you own an NFT, I can lend it out, right? It's really as simple as that. I let people borrow it. And then to do it peer-to-contract means it's not just peer-to-peer. I can group and bunch NFTs together in pool and lend that pool out together. I'll hold that thought. I'll talk about use cases of that actually makes sense right now today, all right? Mortgages are more like, it could be seller financing or a network mortgage. You want to buy an NFT, you can't afford it, or you don't want to sell your cryptos, you borrow money to buy a specific NFT. If you're a lender, you let people borrow your money to only buy an NFT. So those are the areas that we're really innovating on. And some of the use cases that we're working on includes seller and lender protection. So imagine you can rent an NFT or let someone borrow it or let someone buy it, but they haven't paid you off yet, but they're not able to run off with it. We have something called seller protection where if you hold on to NFT, it's stuck in your wallet until you fully pay it off. If you choose not to pay it off, it actually gets returned back to the owner. So therefore, it's seller protection. That does not exist right now in the current standards on the Ethereum blockchain or many others. So we're actually innovating what's lacking in the ecosystem. You can do things like buy now, pay later, metaverse mortgages. How many of you own a piece of any metaverse? Yeah, some of you? Wow, awesome. So imagine in the future, price grows, you can sell it now by having people take a mortgage from Vera and buy your land, right? You can do things like play to own and membership NFTs. You own an NFT, you rent it, it's like a subscription, and you get access to certain utility or access to an event. In fact, some of these upcoming events later this month, like the DeFi Con in New York City, we will be testing this where if you own a certain NFT, you can get access to a VIP room, or you're a subscriber to a certain NFT ecosystem, you get access. Right? And lastly, my favorite is called curated collection rentals. So think about it this way. Remember I talked about what's better than peer-to-peer is peer-to-contract. How do you pull together NFTs and be able to get a lot of people to want to rent or use those NFTs? So imagine you had a game and you need an NFT to play the game. Right now, you got to buy the NFT to get in there, right? Imagine there was a pool of many NFTs. And instead of having to buy one, you just pay $5, and you can subscribe and borrow these NFTs, any of them, for maybe 2 days, just to try it out. That doesn't exist right now. The future is these technologies will allow use cases such as these, and so many others that even I haven't thought of today. So to conclude, how many of you, if you want to learn more about us, what are some of the options, right? First, we actually have a booth here. I think it's booth 516, yes, 516 downstairs. Meet us. Our team is there, right? We're at Miami. Second of all, we are on the exchange. You can check out more of our token and its situation on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. You know, it's called Vera. V-E-R-A is the ticker symbol. Also, we're right now launching a promotion for this holiday season to give everyone who's our early supporter $1 million in rewards. Simply scan that QR code to learn more, or go to our booth and the QR code is there. We will be also giving out to a lot of these participants one of our first utility NFTs. I don't know about you guys, and if you don't know, it's okay, but one of my favorite and first card game is called Magic the Gathering. It has changed my life since I was a kid. And to, I guess, give homage to that, one of our first NFTs is modeled after that. It's called the Vera Genesis Key. It's indestructible, and if you use it, it allows you to gain access to one of our future marketplaces and metaverse that integrates with Vera protocol. All right? Lastly, this is a big announcement. We are launching our mainnet in a couple days, on the 3rd. And we will actually partner with Bored Ape South Beach to let a $1 million or more Bored Ape get rented on our mainnet using smart contracts. We're making crypto history. If you want to witness it, check out our event. It's going to be on the 3rd at the Sagamore Hotel in South Beach. Subscribe to our Twitter or Telegram if you want all those details. 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. We have a lot of featured performers from Timbaland to Def Mouse to Busta Rhymes to Murder. Murder Beats. We're working with Totem, Animal Concerts, and several other partners that will be working with us to do our mainnet launch party. So we'll love to welcome all of you to Sagamore on the 3rd. So with that said, I think I'm a little bit over time here. So thank you so much for everyone. It's time to listen to me today. Take care.
Thank you.